Documents seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home reportedly contained information describing a foreign government's nuclear capabilities. This is according to a report in the Washington Post, citing anonymous sources, revealing that some of the documents were so secret only cabinet-level officials or higher could give authorization for others to view. Joining me now, Right on Crime Executive Director, former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman. Brett, it's just the drip, the leaking, and it's a repeat of what we saw during the entire Russia collusion fictional narrative that was spun by the Democrats, the Clinton campaign, and the media for years. And so what do you make of this latest report?
Yeah, no question, Dagan, that it is the similar sort of refrain. And even Jim Comey, when he so blatantly and brashly almost bragged about the fact that he was the leaker, you start to get a feel for what the upper echelons of the executive level in the Department of Justice and the FBI, so very different than decades ago, when there was a lot more trust and a lot more honor, it seemed. I mean, we don't know what the documents are. We see a photo that was akin to what you put out when you seized fentanyl or a lot of cash, and meant, I think, to try to change the PR narrative that the DOJ is losing right now. And the bottom line is, whatever those documents are, if there are documents that were intermingled in boxes, it still doesn't justify, with the former president not figuring a solution out short of a search warrant through a magistrate judge, that you've basically hand-selected.
Hillary Clinton speaking out about the Trump raid. She's claiming she had 0 classified emails on her server. She tweeted out this, quote, "As Trump's problems continue to mount, the right is trying to make this about me again. There's even a Clinton standard, the fact that I had 0 emails that were classified." Oh, but how her memory is fading with age. A 2018 Justice Department report found 193 classified emails were either sent to or from Clinton's private server. In 2016, former FBI Director Jim Comey said publicly that Clinton mishandled classified information. James Freeman, jump in here with Brett.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that the Clinton standard says that Trump does not get prosecuted even if the Washington Post claims are true. Isn't that the problem she's trying to respond to with the tweets here?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the Clinton standard actually makes it more egregious if they pursued this criminally and brought a case against the president. Let's keep in mind that Hillary Clinton had no ability to declassify. She destroyed evidence, had instructed individuals in her group to destroy some of the physical evidence. This is not a former president. This is someone that cannot have those emails, could not have been using the server like she was, and it was investigated, and she was found to have violated the law. Instead, Jim Comey made a decision and said no reasonable prosecutor would bring the case. Well, if no reasonable prosecutor would bring the case against Hillary Clinton, then you certainly can't make the leap on a former president in documents that he may or may not have known were even in his residence.
Right. In particular, I brought up earlier, Brett, the interview that was done with Hillary Clinton after the original Jim Comey speech that he gave about her email server. She was interviewed after that, accompanied by potential co-conspirators who were acting as her attorneys, and gave answers that if it was someone else, say Martha Stewart, she would have likely been charged with lying to investigators.
No question, Dagan. You hit on something that's so very important. It all depends on what the FBI wants to do, right? They have the power in the laws that we've given them to pursue a subject, like we saw they will do when they interview. We're told they may have given the questions to her and her team before, well before the interview, so she was prepared. And so, yeah, that's how you get away with violating the law and avoid being trapped with a perjury or a lying to the FBI case.
Right. The thing that bothers so many Americans is just how Democrats and people on the left, liberals, are treated with kid gloves by those within law enforcement, federal law enforcement, and then other people, even Tea Party groups within the FBI, within the IRS, targeted. Look at Hunter Biden. And what we've only found out about the suppression of any information, investigation into his laptop because of whistleblowers. Final word to you on that.
Yeah, Dagan, I remember when Attorney General Barr very clearly, a lot of pressure to prosecute Peter Strzok, indicated he was not going to turn the Department of Justice into a political branch. I mean, that is the kind of leadership we need now, and we don't have it.
Brett Tolman, great to see you. Thank you so much, Brett. We'll see you again soon.